The P-square conflict is exactly why I keep advising people. Don't go into business with a sibling, don't go into business with a friend, and don't go into business with your partner. Because the day you clash over money, there's no going back to how things were. You both end up looking at each other differently. It takes a long time to rebuild that ground, to reconcile, to forgive each other, and to talk again with a clean slate. But here's the background. Paul had claimed that he was the one whose contribution made P-square successful, that about 99% of P-square's success came from him, because he was the one writing the songs and doing most of the singing. That was one of the things that made Peter feel like, no, this isn't right, but honestly, that was just a side issue. The real root of everything was money. In terms of management, they went through a few different managers as they were starting their career. Their mother managed them for a short while. Then they had another manager who essentially discovered them and helped push them to major success. That manager worked with them for a 10% cut of whatever profit came in. Afterward, they brought in Jude, their own brother, as their manager, handling the entire music business side, contracts, everything. Peter says the money problems built up over time, to the point where he felt he needed to go find help elsewhere, because they simply weren't seeing their own money. And mind you, this was all happening while Jude was managing both Peter and Paul. Their company, Northside Entertainment, had the deal covering P-square's entire music business, controlling all the income flowing to them. Eventually, it escalated into property disputes, houses, assets completely falling apart. At the same time, there were properties bought in the US as well. Peter says there was money involved, around 30 million naira, that he says he lent as a brother, expecting to be repaid, and that this money still hasn't been returned. At one point, things got so heated that Jude posted publicly on social media, essentially warning people not to do business with Peter, or with anyone associated with Mr. P, framing it as a matter of trust, even comparing it, as some artists have done historically, like Michael Jackson once did with someone, to publicly distancing himself. Peter says he was later asked, "Why is this house being put on the market without telling me?" He claims he found out from a real estate agent that the house he lived in was being listed for sale, without him being informed, despite the earlier public statement urging people not to do business with him or Northside. At some point, Paul and Jude signed an agreement, I believe around 2021, where the family tried to reconcile, rebuild trust as brothers, and move forward doing business together again. But Peter maintains that this reconciliation was superficial, that it looked like people had made peace and moved on, but underneath, things were far from resolved. During this conflict, there were even video recordings, including one where Jude allegedly threatened Peter, which Peter says he kept for legal purposes. At one point, Paul approached Peter wanting to bring P-square back together as a group. Peter told him directly, "I don't want to reunite as P-square the group. If it's about rebuilding our relationship as brothers, I'm very happy to do that, but reuniting as P-square, no, I don't want that." There was reportedly a plan, possibly tied to a brand deal, where profits would be split 40%. Peter, 40% Paul, and 20% Jude. But Peter rejected the arrangement. The real issue that has now brought all of this to a head is royalties. Peter says he started paying close attention to the income P-square was generating and discovered banking transactions he was never included in. He alleges he found that Jude and Paul had been splitting money from a specific deal without cutting him in, and when he asked why he hadn't been paid his share, he had to push to get access to the account used to receive Northside Entertainment's incoming payments. Once individual royalty payouts started being separated, Peter, Paul and Jude each receiving their own share directly, Peter says he was shocked. In the very first month under the new arrangement, he received close to $11,000, roughly translated from the Naira figures he cited, money he says he had never received before. That raised the obvious question: where had this money been going all along? This is where Peter says he began questioning things more seriously, asking Paul directly, "Why am I only now receiving this? Where has it been going all this time?" He discovered that royalties were flowing through a company called Northside Music, separate from Northside Entertainment, and upon investigation found that this company was linked to Jude's family, with ownership reportedly split heavily in Jude's favor. With music catalogs, whoever holds the copyright, sometimes for 10 years, sometimes indefinitely, controls the underlying earnings and how they're distributed, based on the reporting and back-end data provided. Peter says he then formally requested the data showing exactly how much money the catalogue was generating so he could use it to negotiate future deals. He says he was told it would take about 3.5 months to receive that data, and that he was warned not to share it with outside parties, even potential buyers or partners offering to pay for rights. He suspects that much of the real profit P-Square was generating was known to some, but deliberately kept hidden from the wider group. Peter has since described the alleged diversion of funds as functioning similarly to money laundering, and has taken the matter to court, filing complaints and pursuing legal action against Jude and Northside Music. According to what's been confirmed in court proceedings, the disputed account was jointly owned with Jude, who collected the royalties, and reports covering a period roughly from 2012 to 2017, up until P-Square's public split around September 2017, have been part of the case. So that's the story. Don't go into business with your sibling. Don't go into business with your friend. Don't go into business with your partner. Do it. But understand, the day you fight over money, you'll never look at each other the same way again. Some people can push through and things go back to normal, but most of the time money problems break up families, break up friendships, break marriages, and break relationships. So until next time.